Today, I want to talk about purses because I used to be allergic to the idea of carrying a purse. I wanted to be totally unencumbered by one. And now, if I leave the house without a bag, I feel practically naked. I'm like, where I'm missing something, you know? And the reason I got into wearing bags, honestly, was because when I really started paying attention to people's style and fashion, I found that a bag just did so much. It just always felt like it completed an outfit. And this is a little bit of me revealing something about my psychology, but sometimes because of the way I am, I have to look at the way men style something in order for me to incorporate it into my own wardrobe. And I had to do the same thing with jewelry. I was like really resistant to wearing jewelry, and then I started paying attention to the way men wore jewelry, and that helped me incorporate it into my life. I'm not wearing my watch today, but just more like rings and watches rather than necklaces and earrings. But that's, gender is very complicated, and I do fear sometimes it had to do with internalized misogyny because, you just grow up, or the way I grew up, with so much messaging around how feminine pursuits are frivolous and being girly is weak and being masculine is better, and I think I espoused those ideas to a toxic degree. I'm working on it. Anyway, I think it is worthwhile to go through the general categories of bags that men wear and also talk about specifically the search terms because I think they fall into very specific types. And if you're trying to find these secondhand online, these search terms will be super helpful for you. The silliest thing about this is a lot of men wear women's bags. And that, again, would have to be how I came to wearing women's bags. It was like, Jacob Elordi got very famous for wearing cute small purses or also like Bottega woven leather bags. I mean, Bottega in recent years has been super popular for fashionable men. So Jacob Elordi got a lot of attention a couple years ago for stepping out with a bag. He would wear these sort of calm, generally masculine fits, and then he'd have like a little Chanel crossbody or whatever it was. Which, speaking of, I do think he was on the cusp of our swing back from small purses to big purses, which doesn't it just feel like we're all just on this pendulum where it's like small pants, small purses, big purses, skinny ties, wide ties. Like everything just goes back and forth and back and forth. Not all at the same time. I think sometimes maybe big purses and skinny ties could be in at the same time, but that's beside the point. I am going to be focusing mostly on big bags because in general, big bags are considered more masculine. But one person I want to highlight who I think wears women's bags with menswear really, really well is Kwesi. He is on Instagram and TikTok, and he has two beautiful bags. You can tell if you follow him for a while that he actually doesn't have that much clothing, but all his pieces are amazing and very high quality. So he has the Marcel Sakina, which I would say is a duffel style bag, and I'll talk more about the masculine obsession with a duffel bag. Unfortunately, the Sakina generally seems to be out of stock, but you can go to their website and you see that they have a whole host of beautifully made leather bags. They technically have them separated by man and women, but some of the bags are in both categories, so again, I don't quite see how it would matter. And then the other purse that Kwesi wears is a Hero bag called the Kalela. This one is not out of stock, and I think it's beautiful. There are lots and lots of options for color and also fabric, I believe. And I like that he has two bags that are very different shapes. They're both great daily bags, but one is this sort of more like under the arm, almost leather carry-all tote, and the other one is, again, a little bit more of that duffel style, a little bit more masculine. The other place I was finding a lot of inspiration this year was Pitti Uomo, which is an Italian menswear trade show, essentially. It happens twice a year, I believe, in Milan. And the photographs and videos that come out of it are always amazing. Such a good way to get inspiration and look at beautiful people dressed beautifully. I collected some of my favorite looks so we can go through and talk about the best styles. But before we do that, I actually have a new bag myself that I would really like to share with you guys. This is the Medium Your duffel bag from Songmont in the color Sandal. And I'm just so excited that I got it. I'm styling it today with an outfit I actually wore a couple weeks ago, but was having a really hard time finding the right purse for, and I knew as soon as I got this that it was going to be perfect for this. It's a very functional bag. It has all these inside pockets for your smaller stuff that you don't want to lose, like your keys and your chapstick, and your AirPods. In my case, I'm always losing my AirPods. And then it also has just such a beautiful quality of leather. It's very soft, and it moves in this sort of buttery, organic way. If you guys are interested, the link is going to be down below in the description. But the reason I really wanted this bag specifically is because I like to wear both more masculine styles and more feminine styles, and I thought this bag would go with both. That's actually why I'm showing you two different outfits. This one is obviously a little bit more spring-centric because, you know, I'm dreaming of spring already. And it might just be me yearning for warmer weather, but I can't stop thinking about the spring outfits that I'm going to put together with this bag. I actually didn't realize this, but you can attach the side of the zippers to the hardware, and it actually makes it even more of a duffel shape. It sort of makes it more squashed and elongated, which I really, really like. They have this special pocket for your phone, which is nice. It's like magnetically sealed. The hardware on this bag, which you can see here, is jewelry grade stainless steel. It's been vacuum electroplated, which makes it fade resistant. The bag also has that little ring which you can attach charms to. They have some charms on their website as well. I'm not really a charm person, but I know it is super popular right now and a very, very cute trend. I'm more of a tie your scarf around one of the straps person. I guess I'm doing a what's in my bag now, which I don't really get those videos because I don't really care what people have in their bags. Like, what does anybody ever have in their bag? Well, this bag can actually fit a 13-inch laptop, but I don't have that in here. I just have like my work headphones, a Switch, a Kindle, usually a water bottle or a second layer for me because I get cold. I guess it's more interesting if you wear makeup or perfume. So here it is zipped up in its final mode, looking more duffel bag than ever. And that's it. Now let's get back to the bags I loved and saw at Pitti Uomo this year. One of the most common bags you'll see by far is just a simple leather tote. Obviously, it's a great everyday bag. You can wear it for years and years and years, and it'll wear in nicely. The one that I have is actually from Bara Bara. That one, though, it is very rectangular, right? I think the classic tote shape is a little bit more like trapezoidal. Anything you buy that's made out of leather is going to be a little bit more expensive, and it should be a little expensive because with stuff like bags, like you're not going to own that many bags, and if you wear them with so many outfits, they should really look good. It's sort of the same feeling I have about glasses or jewelry, like things that you wear over and over again every day should probably be the highest quality items in your wardrobe. But because buying one, I just looked up what they had at the Armory, which is a very nice menswear store in New York City, and their leather tote is nearly $1,000. I'm sure it's wonderful, but that's out of my budget, and I assume it's out of most people's budgets. So what I would highly recommend doing is trying to find one secondhand. You can very easily just go on eBay. Let's do a little shop with me. You can very easily go on eBay and just search leather tote, right? And you'll find lots and lots of options. My number one trick for eBay, by the way, is to always put pre-owned. That will filter out a lot of the like weird fake drop shipping stuff. My biggest gripe with eBay is actually that you have to search in gendered categories if you want to get specific. So you can't just search bags, you have to search women's bags or men's bags. So typically I just do both. I just do a search in both. And so let's get selective here. We want leather. We want probably medium to large. If you care about your color, you can select a color. I mean, you can get really pretty specific here. And then, yeah, if you're feeling unsure, also be sure to do one that has returns because some places on eBay do returns, which is great. Okay, so now we're just scrolling through. There are thousands and thousands of options here. If you search specific brands, you might find a more typically masculine look, like there are some LL Bean ones and Ralph Lauren ones that are a little bit more minimalistic. There are a lot less options if you search in the men's accessories, so in some ways that could be easier because you're just looking through less stuff, but I would always look in both. If you're looking for this type of bag, another thing that I thought was helpful was a leather shopper. I don't know why exactly that works, but I think it just has to do with the idea that if you're using this bag as a shopping bag, you need a lot of room. And so you'll just find like nice hefty bags that are really pretty large. So you can call it a leather shopper tote or just a leather shopper. Now the second style, which I've mentioned before twice now, is the duffel bag. I think the duffel bag is typified by its sort of like more squat and long shape, and I think there's usually a closure, so they're usually zipped at the top. Why the duffel bag is such a typical shape for a men's bag? My only guess is that because it's associated with traveling and not just like a day-to-day style. So you could wear a duffel bag, right, if you're like going from city to city or whatever on your train, but it doesn't necessarily have the same connotation as a purse, right? It's more of like luggage. That would be my best guess. Part of the reason, though, I wanted a duffel bag was because I was having trouble finding purses that I felt like went with my more tailored menswear looks, like my more suited looks. None of my purses really worked with that. There was some sort of, discordance. And I think a discordance can also be very fun and interesting if you're wearing a menswear tailored look. Now, the next couple of styles I actually think to be a little bit more specifically in the Japanese Americana family of styles. And the first one has to be the boat and tote, or the canvas tote. LL Bean popularized the style. They have copyrighted the boat and tote name. However, you still see people refer to bags made in that same style as a boat and tote. In fact, Everybody.World, which is a brand I really like, I have a little canvas tote from them. They just said that they were coming out with a boat and tote bag. Not to get them in trouble or anything, but I'm just saying you can use that term to find bags in this style. You can also, again, just look up a canvas tote bag. But I find that for city boys especially, they love a boat and tote. A couple of other totes in this family that I want to shout out. There is a very specific yellow tote by Alex Mill that Aaron Levine wears. Like in all his airport selfies, he's carrying this specific yellow canvas tote. And it is from Alex Mill. I had to scroll a bunch to see if he had ever answered anyone, because every time he posts, people are like, where is that bag from? Where is that bag from? He doesn't always answer. I wouldn't either. It's obviously kind of annoying to be asked the same question over and over again. But I figured it out, and I believe it is this bag from Alex Mill, the perfect weekend tote. They also have it in a bunch of colors and sizes, I believe. If you want something with even more character, I really like this series that William Ellery came out with. They're calling it the Beachcomber bag. It's a canvas tote, but it has this little netting on it. It has really kind of like crunchy, outdoorsy colors. Oh, sorry, it's actually not canvas. It's a vinyl-coated polyester mesh. But the style is similar. Anyway, I love those. I think they're very cute. And if you want to go even further into Americana, I would suggest a blanket tote. It has this real Southwestern style motif. I think this is a really great style for menswear, guys, especially if you're not totally like going all the way with like a bolo tie and a Stetson hat or whatever. I think if if you're into that kind of Western clothing, it's best sort of balanced. Like you'll have one or two pieces that are kind of Western Americana style paired with some stuff that is from a different, maybe like, I don't know, more Italian sensibility. So as we know by now, Japanese Americana is very much influenced by preppy styles, a la boat and tote, and more Western, Southwestern American styles. So, the bandana, turquoise jewelry, a blanket bag, those types of things. What we haven't talked about yet is, of course, military bags. I feel like there was a big joke a while ago when I think it was a diaper bag that was circulating that was like a camo diaper bag. So it's like, sure, you're caring for your child, but you also want to feel like you're in the army. It's a very common motif for men to want to feel masculine by evoking, military iconography. So I wanted to go to the source and look up some of Porter Yoshida's classic bag styles. They, of course, have been around since, I think originally since the 30s, and then they started making their bags in the 60s. It is a Japanese brand, and they are known for their bags. Of course, they are really fairly pricey. Their most famous bag is probably the Tanker, which is a nylon bag with these two large pockets on the outside. Now, what I did for you, because I love you very much, is that I figured out that this bag is also actually called the helmet bag traditionally. Like in the military, it's a helmet bag. So you can look up helmet bag and find the very same style for much less. And even you could probably find original military styles. Though candidly, I don't understand where the helmet went. Where does the helmet go? Does it go outside? Like, does it hang on the outside or does it go inside the bag? What are the two pockets for? I don't have all that information for you. I just know that it's originally called a helmet bag. That's the style. You can also, of course, find Porter Yoshida bags secondhand, which is a good, cost-effective way to get them. You can find also a lot of this stuff on Grailed, to be honest. If you're looking for a sort of like olive green bag, just shop around. Use these terms, really go crazy with filters and, toggle things on and off and see what you find, because I don't know. There's some things like bags and shoes, where you don't necessarily have to try them on all the time. Shoes obviously is best too, but because the sizing is generally so regular, I would, however, say definitely check your measurements because I've bought bags before that for whatever reason I thought were a larger size and turned out to be sort of mini. So always get the measurements, but that's a given for anything you buy online. And that is it. So let me know if you guys like to carry bags, if you'd rather be hands-free. You know, we can always talk about crossbodies if you guys like to be hands-free. I was a huge crossbody fan for a long time. I hate the sort of like shoulder slip that you get with shoulder bags or having to hold something, a top handle. It's tough, you know? I can't say that it's like so fun and easy, but sometimes it just looks so good. And some things, as it turns out, are worth being uncomfortable for. Not a lot of things, but maybe a really cute bag.